All righty. So let's go ahead and get started. I'm in my little corner of the dance studio here. I'm going to scoot this over, and we're going to get going with our warm-up. Now, the first activity in our warm-up that I would like to do is a little bit of a marching in place, right? Just a really easy way to get the blood pressure up, get the heart rate up, and maybe get a little bit of a sweat going, all right? So I got my stopwatch here, and if we remember our walking and running mechanics here, class, we want to make sure that we are picking up our knees and toes, and also making sure that our arm action is consistent with our legs as well. We want to make sure that as the right leg comes up, we're getting the left arm to come up, and vice versa, right? It's a game of opposites there with our marching and our walking and running. So I'm going to get my timer going for 30 seconds. We're going to get started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Now we can modify this by taking a little higher of a knee elevation there as we go, right? Not necessarily a larger step, but just getting that knee up a little higher. That's going to force our muscles to work a little harder. It's also going to put us in a single leg bounce position just a little bit longer. All right? Just keep those arm pumps consistent. Got about 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now from here, class, I want to go into some alternating supination and pronation. Okay, so you can see I'm turning my palm up to the ceiling and then pointing my palms back down to the floor. Okay, and as I'm doing this, I'm getting that rotation to go all the way up to my shoulders. I'm feeling this in my rotator cuff, right, in the back side of my shoulder there. I'm sure all of you have started already. I'm going to go for another 20 seconds here. Just really get that twist to involve the entire arm from the fingertips to the shoulders. And that's what I'm talking about when we do our arm swings across the chest. We want to get that twist to really involve the shoulder muscles up there as well, even though we're twisting the forearm and the hands. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. Let those arms come down and dangle if they got a little tired there. From here, I want to go into our vertical reaches, okay? So that's one part of our triplanar shoulder warm-up that we've done last week. I'm going to find a good athletic position, and I'm just going to reach up to the ceiling here, right? Just alternate right and left. Go ahead and start with me if you haven't already. I got 30 seconds going on my timer. Remember to add a little bit of a twist as we do this stretch, right? So as I'm reaching up to the right, I'm going to get a little twist to the right and vice versa on the left. You have about 15 seconds left. And then I want to expand on this twisting that we got going here today. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. From here, class, I want to go into our disco stretch. Now remember, this one has a lot of moving parts. So from my athletic position, I'm going to start with my left hand on my right knee. Okay? As I lift up to the ceiling, I'm going to have my belly button follow that hand and have it follow as it comes back to the start. Remember, I want you to work on getting lower and lower as you go. So start reaching up and then down further and further on the leg, okay? As I reach further, I now have more room to push my hip on this same side back. That's gonna get a nice little hamstring and glute stretch going there, all right? Let's go for 30 seconds on each side in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? There we go. Find a pace that's comfortable for you here, right? That's why we do these for time instead of number of reps. Really get that right hip. If you're reaching to the right knee or the right leg, really push that right hip back. Get that good stretch. I even feel it in my calf a little bit when I really push that hip back. Keep your back nice and flat as you go. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Let's switch sides. I'm going to go with a side view here for the left. Go ahead and go right into it. As you see, I'm trying to keep my chest up and keep my shoulders pinched as best I can as I begin to reach lower and lower on my leg and push my left hip back. right? We want to make sure we're maintaining our posture, just like in the cool down and every other part of our workout. 10 seconds left, and then we're going to get to our lower body stretches and exercises. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very nice. From here, class, I want to go into our mini squats, okay? And I think that this one's best shown from a side view. What I'm going to do here is just find my good athletic position. And if you remember, the mini squat is just going to be a small dip down and then full extension back up. I'd say we're going down about a quarter of our range of motion, right? So about 25% down and back up. And I want these to be quicker, right? So when we're doing these, I want them to look like a nice, quick little squat. We're going to do 15 of those together, all right? Go ahead and we're going to get started in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Quick squats. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Push those hips back. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. 5 more. 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Very nice. Now I'm going to make sure to tilt my camera down a little bit further for this last one here, okay? And that's going to be our standing scoops, all right? So our standing scoops are going to be a hinging movement that's really going to work our glutes and hamstrings a little bit more, okay? We've already got them warmed up a little bit, but now we're really going to focus on them here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get my left foot out in front of me, and I'm going to dig the heel in, okay? Now from here, I'm going to keep my back nice and flat, okay? Keep the chest up, keep the shoulders pinched, and I'm going to bend my back knee, okay? This is like doing our RDL, but with a foot out in front. Now I'm going to take my hands and I'm going to scoop the air out in front of me, all right? And I'm going to come back up to standing at the end of each rep. As I go into my next rep, I'm going to bend that back knee again, scoop the air, and then continue, all right? I'd like to go for about 30 seconds on each side of this one. We're going to get started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. We're going to feel the stretch on the leg that's extended, right? The leg that has the heel out in front is where we're going to feel that stretch. You might even feel a little bit of work being done on the bent leg, okay? This is pretty similar to that staggered stance, sit to stand, and squat that we tend to do on Mondays a lot. 5 seconds before we switch. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Now I'm going to get my right foot out in front, dig that heel, bend that back knee a little bit, get those scoops. Go ahead and go right into it. Try your best to keep that back nice and flat. Maybe you have a chair next to you if you feel like you need that little extra balance support, which is what we're going into next. Try to keep those toes lifted on that front foot, get that nice stretch. I even feel this one in my calf a little bit as well when I really get to the deep ranges of my scoop. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. From here, class, I want to go into our balance progression, right? That's our transition from the warm-up into our workout. And if you remember from last week, we have our wide set. These are my feet, okay? Wide set, narrow set, staggered stance, and then, oh, there we go, tandem, all right? And we're once again going to go with either, pick one of those 4 stances, and then we're going to go with either both arms up and back down, or one arm at a time, okay? Up and down, all right? We're going to go for 4 sets of 20 seconds. Remember, if you're going narrow or wide, wide or narrow, there we go. We're going to go with just a straight set all the way through, so you don't have to move your feet. You can just relax in between sets. If you're going with the staggered or the tandem, feel free to switch feet each set. So that way you get 2 sets with the left out in front, 2 sets with the right out in front, okay? So again, find a wall or chair to stand next to if you feel you need the extra balance support. I would like to get started with our first set in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Go ahead. I'm gonna go with the wide set today. There we go. I'm feeling a little bit off balance. Yesterday, Eleanor and I went paddleboarding and kayaking at Big Creek, and it was scary trying to stand on the paddleboard in the water. There truly was. 3, 2, 1, relax. Go ahead and reset. I'm gonna go with the narrow set this time, all right? Go ahead and reset your feet. We're gonna go with set 2 in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. I'm going one arm at a time this time, right? Do whatever exercise or version of this exercise that's appropriate for you, right? Not just the one that I'm doing. I think I was especially scared to fall off the paddleboard in the water because I didn't want to lose my sunglasses. They're prescription sunglasses, and if I lose those, I'm in trouble. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. Went a little longer than 20 seconds there. That's okay. All right, go ahead and switch your feet up again if you're doing these staggered or tandem. And I'm going to go with the staggered this time, all right, with 2 arms. We're going to get set number 3 going in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. Both arms here. There we go. After a little bit of practice, though, we were able to stand on the paddleboard and able to move around the water a little bit. I didn't fall at all, but Eleanor fell twice. I felt kind of bad. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. Last set of 20 seconds here, class. I'm going to go with the tandem here. I don't know if you can actually see my feet. Maybe I'll do a side view here. All right. I'm going to go one arm at a time up and down with this one. All right. We're going to get started in 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead. There we go. Keep breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth as you go. Stay near that balance support if you need it. Checking my time. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. So that's our balance progression for the day. I want to make sure that we go through that one pretty quickly, right? 4 sets of 20 seconds. That way we have plenty of time to get into the rest of our workout. Now, the beginning of our resistance training workout is going to be that power set once again, okay? I want to do this for 1 more week before we change things up, right? Get really good at some exercises before we move on. And those 2 exercises, once again, I have my heavy dumbbells here. We're going to be doing the hip thrust, so find that athletic position, really get a good bend to the hips here. That way you have more range of motion, right? More room to extend the hips forward. Don't forget to get that little glute pinch at the top of the rep, right? That makes a huge difference like we talked about last week. I'd like to do 2 sets of 6 with that exercise there. Now, the other one I want to do is going to be for 2 sets of 20 seconds. That's going to be our catch step, all right? If you remember, last week we also had those forward-backward steps. When we do the forward-backward steps exercise, that's your brain that initiates those steps, okay? With this exercise here, and I'm facing the wall in case I feel like I need it, like if I lose my balance going forward, I'll have the wall to catch myself, right? But here, we want gravity to initiate the forward movement, right? Not the brain, okay? So I'm going to let my body lean forward. Gravity has me move forward, and then I have to get my step out quickly, right? Because if you don't want this to happen, right? But if you were to fall forward, that's not going to be your brain initiating it. It's going to be gravity, right? And your brain's going to have to react quickly. And that's what we're trying to simulate here. So why don't we just go ahead and start with the catch step, all right? We'll do 2 sets of 20 seconds here. Again, if you need that wall in front, if you feel like you need to catch yourself, go ahead and do that now, all right? We're going to get started in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Go ahead. Alternate feet. Go right and then left. I might expand this set to 30 seconds here. Just because 20 seconds might not be enough to really get enough out of this. Really think about too here, class, get functionally longer, okay? You want to make sure that that step forward is a nice long step. It doesn't have to be uncomfortably long. 3, 2, 1, relax. Remember, class, it doesn't have to be uncomfortably long, right? Just long enough to really kind of push you out of your comfort zone a little bit, okay? We don't want to stay comfortable completely, all right? Just kind of get out of that comfort zone a small little bit. Was that one? And I took that one for 30 seconds, like I said. I think 30 seconds is probably better than 20 for that catch step. But if you have any feedback for me on that one, let me know. Let's go with our first set of 6 here on our hip thrust, okay? So I got my heavy dumbbells, right? And they don't have to be really heavy, just maybe a heavier weight than you would use for a set of 10 on squats, right? So just kind of keeping that in mind as we go through these sets. So we're gonna go ahead and get started with 6 reps in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Thrust forward. That's 1. Pinch those glutes at the top. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Very good. I'm gonna make double sure that these dumbbells are not near me when I am doing my catch step. And actually, if you want to, you could hold on to these dumbbells, okay, in a goblet hold, right? Kind of holding them in front of the shirt like this. That's what we call a goblet hold. That might add a little bit of extra force to your muscle contraction when you are stepping out and coming back in, okay? Again, if you're not comfortable with that, you can totally just put your dumbbells down and just make sure they're not near your feet, all right? We're gonna go for 30 seconds on the second set in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Go ahead. Get that good step, get functionally longer, right? Don't make yourself too uncomfortable here. Just get out of your comfort zone a little bit. Still have 15 seconds left. Again, alternate between right and left. Let your body fall forward just enough to get that foot out there quickly. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. We have one more set of hip thrusts, and then remember, class, the arms are not doing a whole heck of a lot here, okay? It's all the hips and legs that are doing this work to get these weights up to shoulder height or higher, okay? Let's get our last set of 6 in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Coming up. That's 1. Get that pinch. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Very good. Go ahead and grab a sip of water for me, class, if you need to. I'm gonna really quickly switch back to gallery view just so I can kind of keep an eye on who's all here for attendance purposes. I don't want to screw that up again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Alrighty. Let's go. Come on, Zoom. Work with me. There we go. Alrighty, class. So, like I said earlier, it is Monday. And on Monday is when I like to have us do our squat and hinge exercises, okay? So that first exercise I'm talking about is going to be our squat progression. We're going to have our chair for this first one. Remember our double leg extensions, all right? So I can be either in the back of the chair or I can be scooted more toward the front. Just make sure that you have good posture, okay? I'm going to hold on to the bottom of the chair for a little extra support if I want to as well. I'm going to extend both my legs, come right back down with control, okay? I'll talk about the set and rep schemes at the end, okay? Now to sit to stand, make double sure that you know exactly where that chair is when you're coming up and down. You can go without weight. So I'll do a frontal view here, okay? you want to go without weight, you can stick your arms out or you can cross them over your shirt. Right now, I just have my feet even, all right, in a normal parallel stance. I'm going to just stand straight up and back down. Now, if I want to go with the staggered stance, right, I'm going to put one foot out in front and one foot back. If I want to hold weight, I'm going to have us hold the heavier weight here, the same weight that we would use for our hip thrust, and I'm going to hold it in a goblet hold right here in front of my shirt, okay? Just kind of keeping the elbows out to the side, hands pressed together, hold it in front of the shirt there. So if we want to go up the staggered stance, remember we're getting more work done on the back bent leg and getting a little more of a stretch on the front extended leg, very similar to those scoops. I'm just going to stand straight up and back down. I'd like you to get 6 reps with the right leg in back and 6 reps with the left leg in back. Okay, it's the exact same situation with the third exercise in this progression, which is the squat. All right, which again can be body weight, right? Holding the arms out or crossing the arms in front, or we can hold the weight in front of the shirt. If I go parallel stance, I want you to get 12 reps along with the double, people who are doing the double leg extension, right? So if you're doing double leg extension, you got 12 reps. If you're doing sit to stand or squat with the feet in this parallel stance like normal, that's going to be 12 reps. If you're doing the stagger for the sit to stand or the squat, I want you to do 6 on each side. And I will make sure that at the end of the first 6 reps, I'll take a pause. I'll allow you to switch legs, and then we'll all finish together, all right? So it's the same situation as the exercise where we have the band around the knees and we're shoving the knees out, or doing the lateral leg raise. Okay, we'll make time for those of you picking the unilateral option to switch. That way we can all start together and in together. Okay, so the exercise I want to pair with that is going to involve the resistance band. It's going to be our band pull apart today. Okay, so if we remember this one from the summer, I like to grab this one at the handles and wrap up some excess. Okay, I'm going to wrap some of the resistance band around my hands. If I wrap up too much, it's going to be way too tight. I'm not going to be able to pull it apart. If I wrap up too little or not at all, now it's too long, and this is not difficult at all. This provides me no challenge. So make sure that you wrap up enough for you. It really depends on the individual, so that you feel a good challenge. We're going to do 2 sets of 10 reps. So you want to wrap up enough so that you can do 10 reps of this band pull apart. I'm going to stand with a good athletic position. I'm going to have my palms facing down, and I'm going to shove the outsides of my hands to the walls on either side of me. I'm pinching the shoulders back, and I'm pulling out far enough to where this band actually comes into contact with my chest. Hopefully you can see that there. Okay, so if we don't like to wrap our hands up, some people really don't like that, and that's completely fine. We can grab the band here. See, I still have my hands and my arms in the exact same position. I'm just going to now do my pull apart like this, okay? I prefer to wrap up the excess because those handles flopping around while I move back and forth kind of bother me a little bit, but that's just my personal preference, all right? So if you've never done that band pull apart before, right, if you're new to the class, go ahead and kind of try that out with the band as we get to our first set. I'd like to start us off with our squat progression, okay? So go ahead, everybody, pick whichever exercise you prefer. If you're doing the double leg extensions, you're just gonna do 12 straight reps. If you're doing the sit to stand or the squat with the feet even, okay? We're just going to do 12 reps straight through, all right? We're doing staggered for the sit to stand or the squat. I'll let you know when to switch, all right? We're going to go ahead and get started in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Come on up and back down. That's 1, 2, lost my balance there. 3 more here. 4, 5, 6. Go ahead and switch feet. If you're doing staggered, ready? Coming back up. We'll call that 7. 8. 9. 10. 2 more. 11. And 12. Very good. All right, and everybody relaxes there at the end, right? Same start point, same end point for everybody. That's 1 set down on the squat progression. Let's grab our band, and we're gonna go with that pull apart, okay? So while you're doing that, I'm gonna grab my handles and wrap up. If you just wanna grab somewhere in the middle of the band, that is perfectly fine as well, all right? We're gonna go ahead and get started in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Coming out, back in. That's 1, 10 reps here. 2, 3, have the band touch the chest. That's 4, pinch those shoulders back on every rep. That's 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. Now, really quickly, class, something I should have mentioned before that I have mentioned in the past on that exercise, right? 2 things. We want to make sure that we're holding that band at shoulder height, okay? Also, if you don't have a band or you really don't like them, so you don't have one or don't want to use it, you can go with dumbbells just to kind of have something in your hand. You're just not going to get the same exercise that you would be if you had the band instead, right? Because when we have the dumbbells, we're loading down. So we're getting shoulder work to keep the dumbbells from falling toward the floor. We're not really loading horizontally, making the outside of the shoulder and chest pinching muscles work there, okay? So I really prefer a band be used, but again, whatever you prefer is what will win out for each of these exercises. So let's go ahead and get set up for our last time through on the squat progression, okay? I'm gonna do the staggered stance, sit to stand once again. We're gonna get 12 reps all the way through, or 6 and 6, starting together and ending together, all right? Go ahead and get situated. We're gonna get started in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? I'm coming up and back down. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 2 more here. 5, 6, if you're going staggered, switch your feet. Let's go right into it. 7, 8, 9, 10, 2 more. 11, and 12. Very good. Everybody relax. That's it for the squat for the day, right? Just 2 sets through. Let's grab our band or dumbbells, whatever you prefer for this one. We're going to knock out our last 10 reps of the band pull apart, and then we'll move into our second resistance training superset. I'm going to move this chair out of the way. All right? So let's go ahead and go right into this one. Ready? I'm coming out and back in. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10. Very good. That is it for our first resistance superset, for the first kind of strength or endurance focused superset. For the second one here, class, I'm going to explain. Go ahead and catch your breath, grab a sip of water here. The first one I have for us is going to be our RDL. Okay, we didn't do RDL last week, so I'm just going to make sure that we're all on the same page with this one as well. Okay. From a side view here, class, I'm going to find my athletic position. Okay, my feet are even together. Okay, I'm going to let this weight kind of crawl down the front of my legs here, keeping my back nice and flat. My chest is out, my shoulders are pinched. I'm getting to about the middle of my shin here, really pushing my hips back, getting a good bend to my knee, and then coming up, all right? We wanna make sure that we, quote, pop the knees, okay? If we try doing this exercise with our knees straight, we're gonna round that back out right away, okay? We have to get a bend to the knees here. But for the rest of the movement, okay, my knees are really not gonna bend all that much more, if at all, okay? My knees are bent right here, and they're gonna lock in this bent position. All of the rest of this movement is coming from my hips, closing like a book, and coming right back up to an open position, okay? We wanna feel this one in the back of the hamstring, or the back of the thigh, which is where our hamstrings and glutes are, okay? I'd like to do this exercise with our heavier weights, okay? So I'm talking a lot about heavier weights. Something else that can really kind of simulate a heavier weight is your resistance band. So if I was gonna do RDL with my resistance band, I'll do a frontal view this time. I'm gonna set up a double leg anchor, okay? Both feet are on the center of my band. The handles are in each hand here. And now, if I have to wrap up some excess, I can, right? Just grabbing the band a little bit lower for a little more resistance. I'm gonna do the same thing. I'm gonna let these handles come down and then right back up. All right, that's gonna be a little heavier than a lot of the lighter dumbbells that some of us may have, okay? Now, one last thing, whether we have the band or the dumbbells, it doesn't matter. We wanna make sure that the weight stays close to our legs, right? That's why I say kind of crawling down the front of the leg. If we let the weights or band come out here, we're putting a tremendous stress on our lower back. Even if we do a great job keeping that back nice and flat, which we always should, we're still gonna add stress to that back, okay? It'd be probably the worst case scenario is holding those weights out and rounding the back. That's gonna be even more pressure down there, okay? So just make sure you're keeping your hands and your arms in close to the legs. We're keeping the back flat, bending those knees, and pushing those hips back, okay? I'd like to do 2 sets of 6 for that exercise today. The upper body exercise that I would like to pair with that one is going to be our overhead press. Now we have a couple options here. I'm gonna go with the light dumbbells today, okay, with this one. We're gonna do 2 sets of 15, all right? Now, I can do this seated. I'm gonna have my palms facing my body with my dumbbells at about collarbone height. I'm going to press straight up, and as I press up, I'm turning my palms out to face everybody out in front of me. And then as I come down, I'm rotating the palms back into my body. I can do this sitting or standing, okay? I know I'm kind of off camera there with that last one. But if we're a little wary of overhead resistance class, we can also go to the lateral raise. Now this lateral raise can be done with a bent arm, okay? My elbows are bent about 90 degrees. I can lift straight up and back down, get my shoulders to work there. Or I can extend my elbows and lift out to the side. Now notice, class, I'm not just going out straight, okay? I'm not just staying within the plane of my body, okay? I'm lifting out and going forward slightly, okay? It's very similar to our lateral leg raise. We don't want to just go straight out. We want to go out and back slightly. It's almost kind of a diagonal path. Same idea here, just going forward, okay? So pick the lighter dumbbells or go with no weight at all. We're going to do 15 reps for that one, okay? Let's find our heavy weights or our resistance band. We're going to knock out our first set of 6 RDLs here, okay? I'm going to find my athletic position. We're going to get started in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? I'm coming down and back up. That's 1. Push those hips back. That's 2. Make those hamstrings and glutes work here. That's 3, 4, 2 more. Nice and controlled. 5 and 6. Very good. That's 1 set down. Now, for the overhead press or lateral raise, I'm going to try to do different options. I'm going to go with the overhead press this time, and I'm going to my kneel position so I'm low on the camera. All right? So let's knock out 15 reps with the light weight or no weight here in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? I'm coming up and back down. That's 1. Twist those palms out forward and back in as you come down. That's 2. 3, 4, 5, 6. Go with control here. That's 7, I think. 8, 9, 10. 5 more. 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Very good. That's 1 set down on the either lateral raise or overhead press. I'll make sure to do the lateral raise for the second set of that. All right. Let's go back to the RDL. I'm going to go with the resistance band this time. Okay. I'm going to set up my double leg anchor. I'm going to wrap up some excess here, class. And we're going to get started together for 6 reps in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? I'm coming down and back up. That's 1. Keep those hands close to the legs. 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Very good. Again, the smaller number of reps is meant for a larger resistance, right? Whether that's the band or your heavier weight, the larger number of reps is meant for the smaller resistance, right? That way we can do more reps there. We're going for more of an endurance set for the shoulders here, all right? Now, I'm going to actually stand, and I'm going to do a side view, and I'm going to do the lateral raise here, all right? We're going to go ahead and get started together in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? Coming out and back in. That's 1. Out and forward slightly for this one. That's 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 5 more, 11, 12, 13, 14, and 15. Very good. So that is all that I have for the second resistance training set. Grab a sip of water here. All right, catch your breath if you need to. I'm checking my time. I think I might be better off once again just to kind of go right to the cardio from here, okay? So I have 2 exercises today for our cardio. The first one of those 2 exercises is going to be our half jack, okay? Or no, sorry, heel dig with press. I was thinking the H, right? The H screwed me up there. Started at the beginning of the name for the exercise. So heel dig with press. Now, with this one, we have a couple options, right? I can go with just a foot coming out, okay? You see I'm stepping out and I'm digging a heel in, okay? We've been doing a lot of that today, right? With the standing scoop. If you chose to do the staggered stance option for the sit to stand or the squat, we've been digging the heel out in front a lot. So if I want to incorporate my upper body in here, I can go with that same dig, but now stick both my arms out, okay? As if I was doing a chest press or a push-up, okay? I'm pinching my shoulders as I bring my hands in, and I'm just pressing straight out. If I want to maybe work my brain a little bit here, class, I'm going to turn to the front. I can go with a kind of an alternating, coordinated sort of pattern. So if I stick my right heel out, I can try sticking just my left arm out. and then vice versa. I'm going to come in and do the opposite thing on the other side. So now my right hand and left foot are coming out together, okay? So that's another option there. If you want to hold something like a weight while you're doing this, I suggest it be the light dumbbells or the light weight, whatever you have there at home. I'd like to go for 3 sets of 45 seconds with that one. And a heavy weight doing this for 3 sets of 45 seconds is going to be pretty taxing, okay? So from there, class, we have the heel dig. I would now like to go into, oops, not putting those on the chair again. I'd like to go into, from there, our V-step, okay? So if you remember, I used to have those pieces of tape on the floor. We're gonna have to go without those and just follow the cadence, all right? So I'm gonna start off with a narrow stance. I'm gonna step forward and out diagonally, right? So if you remember the cadence, it's gonna be wide, wide, and coming back, narrow, narrow, all right? I'd like to do that for 3 sets of 45 seconds as well, okay? Just checking my time here. Let's go ahead and get started with the heel dig with press, okay? And I'm not gonna go with dumbbells. I'm just gonna set them right here by the rest of the dumbbells I have, all right? So go ahead and get situated. We're gonna get ourselves started in 3, 2, and 1. Ready? I'm digging the heel out. Grab my stopwatch. Here we go. Got started. I'm going with 2 hands together while I dig the heel out. Okay? A little bit easier progression for the brain there, but we are getting a lot of body movement as we do this. Okay? Find a pace that's going to challenge you here, right? And then keep that intensity all the way to the end. Checking my time. We got 20 seconds left. Very good. And we can think about maybe taking a little larger step out, right? If I take a larger step, I have to get a little bit more of a bend in my back leg, right? In that knee. Checking my time once more. 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Relax and reset. Go to the V step here. There we go. I don't want to repeat that cadence too much because I don't want to mess anybody up at home. Just remember the wide, wide, narrow, narrow. You can start with the left foot if you want, right? You can go with the left foot instead of the right. You can alternate which foot you start with. We can get lower to make this tougher. We can step quicker or farther. Just keep those progressions in mind if you want to make this more intense. 9 seconds left before our next transition here, class. 3, 2, 1. Relax and reset. Back to the heel dig. I'm going to go with the alternating one. I want to wake my brain up a little bit more this morning. There we go. I like to do the alternating one from a frontal view. I think that does it a little bit more justice there. Keep that breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. Now, something I don't talk about a lot with this one here, class, make sure that when you're punching out, whether it's with 1 hand or 2, that you're punching out to shoulder height, right? If you're starting to punch a little bit lower toward the ground, you might be letting your posture become a little more slouched, right? So keep the big chest and keep the shoulders pinched. 3, 2, 1. Back to the V step. Go ahead. After this set, we're going to go through each exercise one more time, and then it's off to the cool down. And I'm going to have to sneak into the clinic for our last exercise in the cool down, I think. That's okay. Get big steps. Think about your catch step here, class, right? We want to get functionally longer. So think about taking a little bit larger steps, maybe get a little bit outside of your comfort zone here. All right, but not too far outside that comfort zone. 3, 2, 1. Relax and reset. Back to the heel dig. One last time for the day. I'm showing that side view to kind of reinforce the punching to shoulder height. Hopefully I'm going shoulder height. Yeah, there we go. One last time through, keep that posture, stay nice and tall. It can be easier to get a little more slouched when it gets harder to breathe, when we're a little more winded. You want to stay nice and tall, breathing in through the nose and out through the mouth. We've got about 8 seconds left before our final transition. Last set. 3, 2, 1. Relax and reset. V-step one last time here, class. This is going to take us to the 4-minute and 30-second mark. Again, that's not a really long amount of time, so you want to make sure that you're going at a good intensity during these sets. The more intense exercise has been shown to be much more beneficial than kind of lower intensity, longer duration cardio, all right? We've got about 15 seconds left. Keep it up, keep that pace, keep that breathing as well. Nice job. 3, 2, 1. Relax. Very good. Go ahead and grab a sip of water here, class. Catch your breath. It's feeling a little bit better in this dance studio today because it's not already 80 degrees out. There we go. Going back to the gallery view just so I can see everybody's thumbs. When you're ready, no rush. Get your sip of water, catch your breath. Thanks, Steve. See that thumb there? Thanks, Pat and Roy. Clark, thank you. Dale, thank you. Thank you very much, Carol. I can definitely see that thumb. Thank you very much. Hopefully Sue and Al are okay. There we go. All righty, class. Oh, and then there's Bill down there too. Awesome. All righty. Let's go ahead and get started. I'm going to go back to the big view. So we worked our shoulders quite a bit today. All right. I want to do a couple shoulder stretches to complement that. The first one I want to do today is going to be our back scratch test. All right. I'm kind of using that one to complement the overhead press that we did. We're also going to get some of that rotator cuff complemented in here as well. So as soon as I find my stopwatch back, it's right here, we're going to go that back scratch. So just kind of going with a rear view here, getting the right arm up and over and the left arm down and around. I like to start with that because I'm right-handed and I'm a little bit better on this side. We're only going to go for 20 seconds on each side here, okay? Go ahead and start with me if you haven't already. Now I'm doing a side view this time because I want to reinforce staying up nice and tall, keeping those shoulders pinched, pushing the chest out, and breathing into the nose and out through the mouth. Checking my time. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. Let those arms come down with control, especially in an exercise like that. You don't want to just come out of that too quickly, okay? Let's go ahead and get the other side. Now this is the side that I'm not as good at, which again is pretty typical. So now my left arm's going up and over, my right arm's going down and around. Go ahead and start. Again, I'm making a solid attempt here to stay up nice and tall. I really got to pinch my shoulders. I'm not as good on this side, like I said. So this posture is going to be a little bit tougher to maintain. So it's going to take some work, but we can do it. 3, 2, 1, relax. Lastly, class, on that one there, if you remember, it's not super imperative that you get your fingertips to touch, okay? Is that the goal? Yes. If it doesn't happen, that's fine. That just means that we have room to improve, okay? Now, as we go from here, I want to go into a good stretch for the upper back and the back of the shoulder muscles, those rotator cuff muscles. And that's going to be actually with our standing chest stretch, which also is going to be used to complement the heel dig with the chest press that we did today. Now, in the past class, we have focused on either having the hand up to get more chest or down here to get more shoulder, okay? And I'd actually like to go here to get a little bit more shoulder, okay? Today, if you want to go up here to get a little more chest, you can, but I want to do this today for a little bit more shoulders. Now I have my hand, I'll turn a little bit. My hand is straight back behind me. All right, we'll go for 30 seconds. Now you're probably thinking, class, you know, if we want to stretch those upper back muscles, okay, we are probably doing the opposite, right? Because this is the opposite motion of our arm reach across or our band pull apart, and that's very true, okay? What I'm doing right now is actually targeting a set of muscles in the front of the shoulder that we would have worked if we would have gotten to our third resistance training superset, which again, just trying to make sure that any new clients are on the same page. We're getting those exercises explained really well and refreshed. 3, 2, 1, relax. Let's go ahead and switch sides. And I think for those of us who are returning, I think it's really good to get these good refreshers, right? Really go over that RDL technique once again, right? Once we get comfortable doing something repetitively over a long period of time, it's going to get easier and easier to kind of begin to go through the motions. So I think for those of us who are new and those of us who are returning, these refreshers are really good. We got 5 seconds left. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. So getting that stretch put in there. I'll make sure that as we go forward, we'll begin to get that third resistance training set in there too. I might need to trim a little bit in the beginning part of the workout as well to make that fit. But now going forward here, class, I actually want to go with the modified sleeper stretch today, okay? Because that's really going to work on the muscles in the back of the shoulder, especially the ones that are working on our rotator cuff muscles when we come out with that band pull apart. Okay, so that modified sleeper stretch, I'm going to come to my kneeling position. We're going to pretend that we're getting set up to arm wrestle somebody, right? I'm not right out in front. I'm not rotated all the way out. I'm just kind of 45 degrees out to the middle, the center of that range of motion, and I'm gently going to push my fingers down. Emphasis on gently. I'm going to push my fingers down into my hand or my wrist. All right, we'll go for 30 seconds here. Oops, there we go. We want to breathe. Again, if you want to have your elbow resting on the edge of a table, right? I do the edge so that way your hand can come down. Again, I don't like that because I tend to roll over my funny bone, and that's really uncomfortable for me. We have 10 seconds left before we switch hands. We're going to let this arm dangle a little bit after we come down with control. In 3, 2, and 1. Go ahead and relax. Let that arm dangle a little bit. All right? And we'll do the same thing on the other side. So I'm getting my right arm out this time. Go ahead and start with me. I got my timer going. Just a gentle push. There we go. My shoulders are quite tired this morning, a little sore from the kayaking and the paddle boarding. The paddle boarding was a lot more on my shoulders than the kayaking was. Three, 2, 1, relax. Very good. Checking my time here, class. I'd like to now go into a hamstring stretch, and I need to get another stretch shown to you all. It's one that we've done before, but I need something to lay on, and I don't have anything like that. I think that seat by the piano looks like it's a little bit too... but it's going to get the job done. So, sorry I'm kind of carrying you with me, but I'm not kind of I don't want to go into the clinic because I know that Jackson is in there leading his cool down, and I don't want to interrupt him. It's his first day with interns, and I don't want to be a menace to him. for that. So just from here, we actually want to get our hamstring stretch involved here, okay? So with this one today, we're just going to go double leg, okay? In the past, we've done single, okay? I think today I just want to do the double, all right? So from my seat here, I got my piano bench. I'm going to go to the side view. Remember, we're going to scoot to the front of the seat. We're going to dig our heels in once again, right? Kind of been doing that a lot today. And we're going to get a nice forward lean here, all right? Keeping that back nice and flat, big chest, against the shoulders. Checking my time here. We're going to hold this one for 40 seconds. So go ahead and start with me if you haven't already. I like to hold the hamstring stretches a little longer than the others. Favorite stretch of all time. 20 more seconds here, class. Very good. And then the last stretch that I have for us is going to be one that I want you to do off camera. 3, 2, 1, relax. Very good. So if you remember, class, we worked on our lower body push today, right? That's our squat progression. Another good example of our lower body push is the forward backward steps, right? It's a knee dominant exercise. And I want to make sure that we get a good stretch for the front of the hips and thighs, all right? And if you remember our off-camera stretch, we want to have maybe something that resembles more of a bed, which is why I've done this on a stretching table in the clinic, all right? So I'm going to try to lay on this bench thing here. And this is why we do it off camera too, because I don't know what you all have in your exercise area. And I want you just to try this when you can get to a bedroom or something else like this. So I'm going to get one leg back slightly, okay? If you remember the staggered stance quadricep stretch, we're in the exact same position, right? I'm up nice and tall. I got one leg back, one leg forward. It's the exact same situation here. Now, where exactly you place your leg is going to be dependent on the height of your object that you're laying on. It's going to be dependent on the length of your leg and your individual range of motion and comfortability, okay? We just want to make sure that we're getting this foot to come back so we get a nice stretch here in the front of the hip and the thigh. I'd like you to go for 30 seconds on each leg there and then switch. So you might have to get up to then lay your body on the edge of your bed, right? You want to be on the edge of the bed so that way you can have the other leg kind of hang over there a little bit and then get the 30-second stretch on the other side, okay? Hopefully whatever you're laying on is long enough so you don't have to hold your head up like I'm doing right now, okay? But I like to have those off-camera stretches there because it kind of changes it up from the other quadricep stretches that we've been doing. If you don't like that one and you prefer doing one of those 3 other quadricep stretch options, right, which is the staggered stance quadricep stretch, right, that we did last week quite a bit. Lift that back heel, push the hips forward. We can also go with the standing quad pull on each side, or we can do the assisted chair lunge. Remember, the overall theme of any stretch here is going to involve staying tall or keeping this nice and straight while getting this leg to come back, okay? So really any stretch that you're comfortable in, that you can be balanced in, that's going to get this leg back here and stretch the front of your body is going to be a good one, all right? And that's all that I have for you for today, class. I want to thank you all so much for participating. I hope that you all have a great day, and I will see you on Wednesday.